I'm Marguerite from GetRealTacoma.com, and I'm here at The Mix, one of Tacoma's best watering holes and my own personal cheers, and this is your Tacoma real estate moment. Today's question is, I live in a condo, and over the years we've had some problems, and now some of the units in our building have sold for way less than the rest of us paid for them. What are your tips for making sure that the values in the building stay high? I'm so glad you asked. So, one of the things that people don't understand is that one of the major things about keeping the value up in your condo building is just making sure that the units are financeable. People don't really think about this very much, but getting a loan on a condo building can be really hard if the condo management and the people in the HOA haven't been taking care of business. So let me give you some tips for taking care of business in your condo building and keeping those values up. Tip number 1, have one person in the HOA who's responsible for filling out loan paperwork when someone's trying to buy a unit in the building. Just like anything else, when you have to get a loan for a condo, there's a ton of paperwork. So make sure that someone is designated and that they fill out every single line on those forms that the lender brings in. Because without those forms, the buyer can't get a loan for the building. So first of all, designate a paperwork guy. Number 2, make sure that your building is FHA and VA certified. That might sound scary, that might sound confusing, but it's definitely worth it to find out how to make that happen. Because the larger the pool of buyers that can qualify for a loan on your building, the more your building's units are going to go for, because there's going to be more people wanting them. So here's how you do it. The easiest way is to find a lender who's super nice and helpful, who will help you get that certification for FHA and VA. There are going to be some rules that you're going to need to follow, and it may take you a couple of years to get all of your paperwork in line, but it is totally worth it because it will make your values go up. So you want to make sure that no more than 15% of the people in your building are delinquent on their dues. You want to make sure that no more than 50% of the units in your building are rented, so 51% need to be owner occupied. And you need to make sure that no one in the building owns more than 10% of the units. There are other rules, but these are the big 3. So talk to a lender, find out if you're already FHA and VA certified, and if not, start taking the steps to get you there, because that'll make your values go up. Number 3, you want to make sure that you have a current full copy of your insurance coverage for your condo building on hand at all times. This seems like something that everybody would just have, but you'd be surprised how often a buyer comes and needs financing and the lender asks for a copy of the full coverage insurance policy covering everything that needs to be covered in order to get a loan on the building, and nobody can find it. So make sure that you have that organized, current, and ready to go. The final item, number 4, is to not sue anybody unless you absolutely have to. Sometimes lawsuits happen, I totally get it. Maybe somebody messed up your siding or your windows and you need to sue to get that taken care of. But just know that during the period while the lawsuit is going on, no bank is going to loan on your building. And what that's going to mean is if anybody moves and they have to sell, they're going to find that the only person that can buy in your building is a cash buyer. And it's going to have to be a pretty brave cash buyer to buy into a building during the middle of a lawsuit. So just make sure that everybody knows the score, that you kind of don't want to sell during that period. The reason for this is that anything that comes down as far as judgments against the building is going to fall on the new buyer, and banks don't want to take that risk. So what you want to do is if you do sue someone, sit tight because it's going to be kind of a bumpy road. Once the settlement has happened, the lender is going to need a copy of the judge's provisions and the settlement from the lawsuit to show that the lawsuit is totally over in order for anyone to finance it coming in. So again, I'm not going to get in your business. If you as an HOA need to sue somebody, go for it, I guess. But just know that during that period, it's going to be really bad for home values. So in conclusion, the rules for keeping your condo building financeable might seem a little overwhelming, but they're pretty easy to follow once you know them. That said, they can change over time because financing rules are always changing over time. So make sure you're talking to a good lender or maybe an expert that sells a lot of condos. Just contact them and they'll help you. Also, if you really have a question about suing people or qualifying for financing or why property values go up and down, talk to an attorney. Thanks. Have a great day.